Oh, good evening, everyone. My name is Kathleen Corey. I go by Corey, and I'm the president of Women of Peace Corps Legacy. And I just want to say how wonderful it is to see so many people here, especially at this hour, and to give a big shout out and thank you to Glenn and his team for making this conference possible because we missed it so much last year. So thank you, Glenn, and everyone for helping us to come together as a community again. Tonight, we are going to honor the amazing work of our three Women of Peace Corps Legacy Award winners, Nancy Kelly, Amy Maglio, and Esty Katkoff, all three who have made a significant and lasting impact on the lives of women and girls, right there with the theme of the conference. But before I introduce our winners, as I always do, I want to just say one small word about Women of Peace Corps Legacy. Our mission is to improve the lives of women and girls around the world by creating a more just, equitable, inclusive, and safe world for future generations. And we do this through 5 main activities. We have some very interesting programming, very robust social media. We have a very successful mentoring program. We have network opportunities that when we all get back together again, hopefully we can all see each other and get to know one another more. And then finally, we recognize women who have been associated with the Peace Corps, who have made a significant contribution to the empowerment of women and girls globally. And indeed, they have taken their Peace Corps work into other organizations that they have led or in fact created. The Deborah Harding Lifetime Achievement Award recognizes a woman whose life work has made the world a better place, especially for women and girls. Tonight, we have 2 awardees. One was to be for last year, but we didn't have the opportunity to introduce her. And then the one that was selected for this year. And I just want to say a couple words about Deborah Harding. Deborah Harding, who has a lifetime of impressive achievements, worked at Peace Corps at a time when placement and recruitment were not gender equal. There were very, very few female country directors, and many volunteer assignments were for men only. And Debbie, not willing to accept the status quo, and anyone who knows her knows that this is quite true of her, spearheaded the effort to get Congress in 1977 to amend the Peace Corps Act to include women in development, and was the first ever Women in Development Director. So Peace Corps women received a place at the table thanks to all the hard work and effort of Deborah Harding. So our first winner this evening is Nancy Kelly. And I want to read a part of a nomination for her because I thought it was just so powerful. And this was said about Nancy. Every wave begins as a ripple. Some ripples disappear, others become tidal waves. So too with careers. Some are quiet and small, others change the world. Such has been the impact of Nancy Kelly's lifelong dedication, which is really quite a tribute to Nancy. Her journey began actually in 1979 as a Peace Corps volunteer in Korea, still very active with Friends of Korea. I know we have quite a few of you with us tonight. And as she was working with maternal and high child health alongside the sole midwife in rural Korea. And then she went on, based on that experience, to develop a career in global health. So as the executive director of Health Volunteers Overseas, she's been in that position since the creation, which was 1986. She has been the driving force behind a program enabling thousands of women and children to receive better health care. And again, thousands of health professionals to receive training and mentoring every year. Nancy is known for building a global cadre of talented, confident, and truly inspired women who are committed to advancing global health for women and girls around the world. So it is now my honor to introduce Nancy Kelly.
Thank you, Corey. Thank you very much. Hold on just 1 minute. Something has happened here. Okay. Thank you for this wonderful honor. It means so much to me to have to receive this award from the Women of Peace Corps Legacy, a group I admire so much for your collective experience, wisdom, and commitment to making the world a better place for women and girls. I headed off to the Peace Corps 40 years ago, totally unaware that this 2-year experience was going to completely change my life plans. Instead of returning home to continue studies in Asian history, I came back interested in public health. I wanted to learn how a health system could meet the needs of a community, all of the community. I came back with a deep understanding of the value of education and with a conviction that volunteers can make a real and lasting contribution if they are well prepared and the project is carefully designed. A conviction that has been reinforced almost daily by my work with HVO volunteers. One thing led to another, and in 1986, I was part of a group of healthcare professionals that came together and created HVO. For 35 years now, we have worked to address the vast inequity of access to health and medical education found in lower and middle income countries around the world. Women and girls have benefited enormously from our projects, not only as patients receiving better care, but also as trainees accessing educational and professional opportunities. HVO training has resulted in the reduction of maternal mortality in numerous institutions due to the improved provision of safe anesthesia. And neonates have a better chance of survival thanks to the training provided by HVO volunteers. Women in many countries have benefited from the improved diagnosis, management, and treatment of breast and cervical cancers. And I also remember the excitement when I heard about the first ever female orthopedic resident joining a department with which we were working in Africa. It was a groundbreaking moment. The last 18 months, needless to say, have been challenging, but we continue to do our work. We have pivoted to virtual training, and perhaps one of the most exciting examples of this is a new OBGYN residency program in Bhutan, which we started despite the pandemic. Weekly lectures are provided over Zoom to 6 residents, with 17 lectures delivered so far, and over 20 more scheduled throughout this year and into early next year. In addition to the didactic instruction, volunteers are serving as virtual research mentors for the 1st and 2nd year residents who have to accomplish a multi-year research project as part of the curriculum. As with all our projects, this is a long-term investment in the education and professional development of current and future healthcare professionals, making the world a healthier place for all, especially for women and girls. Again, thank you so much for this recognition and this honor. Thank you.
Nancy, thank you very much for all that you do for women and girls all over the world, the thousands that you have helped. So thank you so much, Nancy. And then our next Deborah Harding Lifetime Achievement Award winner is Amy Meglio. And as a Peace Corps volunteer, Amy saw firsthand the multiplier effect of girls' education in rural Senegal, where she was serving. She saw how access to education was extremely limited for girls, and she wanted to reach out and help them and get more education in her rural village, because she knew that with increased opportunities, they would not only benefit themselves, but they would benefit their families, and ultimately catalyzed a wider community change. So having had this experience, Amy came back and she became the executive director and founder of Women's Global, which has increased education opportunities for marginalized girls in rural Kenya and Senegal. And to date has reached over 20,000 girls and young women. The project director, I love this, I got this quote here. The project director in Kenya stated that because of Amy's work, quote, "Girls dream of becoming pilots, doctors, and lawyers. And they are supported because more people now understand that it is one's dedication and effort that determine their success rather than their gender, unquote. So women's global successful model has been highlighted as a best practice approach to girls' education at the United Nations Girls Education Initiative Conference in Dakar, Senegal. Amy was one of the drafters of the UN Declaration on Gender Equality, and she partnered with the Obama Foundation to create a film about women's global leadership program in Kenya. So her impressive work and leadership have been recognized by the Chicago Foundation for Women, the Chicago Council on Global Affairs, International Women's Associates, and she has been featured on Chicago Public Radio. So it is now my honor to introduce Amy Meglio.
Well, thank you, Corey, and thank you all for this incredible honor and award. I'm really thrilled to be with all of you. I hope that someday we'll be able to meet in person. I'm excited to be part of Women of Peace Corps Legacy because it's organizations like this that are advancing gender equality and driving change for women and girls all around the world. And as Corey mentioned, my passion for girls' education came from my experience as a Peace Corps volunteer. So in my 20s, much to my parents' dismay, I joined Peace Corps and was sent to Senegal. I lived in a very remote rural village, no running water, no electricity. And I lived in a family compound, and the eldest daughter had never gone to school before. I'm sure many of you can relate to this scenario. And I extended my service past the regular 2 years so that I could help my Senegalese host sister go to school for the first time. So from that experience, I saw firsthand the impact that going to school could have on a girl's confidence and on her future. So 17 years ago, around my dining room table, I started Women's Global. In our first year, we helped 10 girls get into school for the first time. Fast forward to today, our programs have reached over 20,000 women and over 1,000 people in 72 different villages in Senegal and Kenya. So despite progress that's been made in girls' education by the global international development community, women still make up 2/3 of the world's illiterate population, and girls are still less likely than boys to go to school. And the situation is even more extreme in rural Africa, where our work is focused, where 85% of adolescent girls are dropping out before completing high school. This is completely unacceptable. Education is a basic human right. With education comes knowledge, but also self-determination, right? That's why the UN deems education as a human right. It's about helping every girl, no matter where she's from or her condition, the ability to decide for herself her own future. And as Corey mentioned, in development, girls' education is a force multiplier. Girls' education creates new trajectories for women and girls. We know this. Study after study has shown that when girls are educated, they have fewer children, their families are healthier, and they have more opportunities to generate income. And we see educated women are more likely to educate their own children. So we see that positive cycle of health and well-being carry on, to the next generation. Educating a girl really has a multiplier effect that can positively affect earning potential, health, future opportunities for the girl herself, for her family, for the village, and the community. Because of this ripple effect, girls' education is seen as a key solution to global poverty. My organization, Women's Global, provides access to education and develops training programs that empower women and girls to build better lives and create more equitable communities. So we work in rural and marginalized communities in both Senegal and in Kenya. And our model is a little bit different. We don't sit here in Chicago and decide priorities, staff up projects, and roll out activities in rural Africa. We know that doesn't work. And we know, especially as RPCVs, that in order for things to change and improve the lives of people, we need to equip local leaders to succeed. So as a global community that we are, we need to stand up for girls everywhere, whether domestically or internationally. When we lift girls up, when one girl succeeds, we all succeed. And it's time for every girl, regardless of her circumstance, to decide for herself her own future. There's still a lot of work to be done, but we're looking for more partners to be able to sustain this work well into the future. And I think Women of Peace Corps Legacy are already part of the solution. This is about women leading and creating the world we want to see. And as women, we can create a better world for all women. We have the expertise, the money, and the drive. Women of Peace Corps Legacy is a fantastic and amazing collection of women. Together, we're creating a movement. We're creating the world that we want to see for women and girls everywhere. And I thank you for letting me be part of it.
Oh, Amy, thank you so much. We are creating a movement. You get a group of returned Peace Corps volunteers together who have a common mission and cause. You can do a lot, as everyone that we are giving an award to tonight is proving. So Amy, thank you so much for what you do for women and girls around the world.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, now, finally for us, for Women of Peace Corps Legacy, we are going to honor this year's winner of the Kate Raftery Emerging Leader Award. This is only the second year that we have given this award, honoring someone under 35 who has demonstrated a passionate commitment to women and girls empowerment around the world. This award is named after Kate Raftery, our beloved Kate Raftery, whose love, support, and mentoring for younger Peace Corps volunteers is well known throughout the world. Kate has the distinction of being one of the only Peace Corps directors to serve in 4 Peace Corps posts, which were Paraguay, Peru, Eastern Caribbean, and Honduras, in addition to many positions throughout headquarters, oftentimes advising the Peace Corps director. Outside of Peace Corps, all of Kate's jobs have had one thing in common. They focused on the empowerment of young people, whether that was at Peace Corps, AmeriCorps, or the International Youth Foundation. We couldn't think of anyone better to name this very special award after than Kate Raftery. So tonight, we honor Esti Katkoff for her extraordinary work in Paraguay with an organization she created called Super Kids, that we will see a 3-minute video of one of the people who is a volunteer teacher as part of Super Kids at the end of Esti's speech. Esti became aware of gender-based violence as a Peace Corps volunteer in Paraguay, and she used this knowledge to lead initiatives to prevent gender-based violence in that country during and after her Peace Corps service. Esti created this successful youth program originally called Zero Violencia, which still continues today in Paraguay as the Super Kids Foundation, working with children to become agents of change in their communities. 70% of the kid teachers are girls in the program, and they not only learn the knowledge and skills needed to end gender-based violence, but also to work towards creating equity in their communities, particularly in education. The pandemic caused the organization to pivot and create a Paraguayan television program to teach lessons in literacy and life skills, which is broadcast now to thousands of homes in Paraguay. It is the very first show made for Paraguayan kids by Paraguayan kids. And it's the first bilingual children's television show in Paraguay ever. So Esti epitomizes an emerging leader for sure. So now it is my honor again to introduce Esti Katkoff. Esti.
Hi, everyone. It is an honor to be here, and I can't thank you enough for this special honor. Never in any step of the process of creating this organization did I do it alone, and our board of directors currently has 23 members, 2/3 of which are RPCVs, several of which aren't even RPCVs from Paraguay, but RPCVs from other locations in the world who wanted to be part of this amazing movement. As Corey stated so eloquently, I started this organization a few years after the Peace Corps. I saw a lot of need, starting from a traumatic experience that my community had when I was only 3 months into the Peace Corps. My neighbor was stabbed by her husband. I started talking about gender-based violence. People told me their stories. I became an advocate. I accompanied people to social services. I worked with social services on domestic violence prevention plans. And then when I left, I had such close relationships with so many people, especially girls, that I just felt like, how could I spend 2 years getting myself more integrated and more prepared to make a difference, and then just leave at the point when I'm most familiar with the people, at the point when I most know how to solve this problem. So I went back 2 years later, as Corey stated, to start Cero Violencia. And then we pivoted to call ourselves Super Niños, because instead of focusing on the problem, we wanted to start talking about the solutions. Instead of talking about the trauma that both girls and boys have faced in being witness to violence in their houses or experiencing child abuse, we want to talk about the amazing things that kids can accomplish despite the trauma that they've been through. One of the most amazing things about Super Kids is our ability to put young people in the spotlight. So when I was thinking about what to say in my speech today, I thought, what best than to read a story written by one of our kid teachers, Niñas Profes in Spanish. Her name is Luana. I met her when she was in 5th grade. She was 11 years old. And at the time that I met her, she could not look me in the eye. She could not speak to an adult without hunching over with her arms crossed. And I just remember Alejandra, her facilitator, our employee working with her, just over and over again, teaching her to stand up straight, teaching her to have confidence, both physically and emotionally, so that she literally could speak. So I'm going to read a story that she wrote. Once upon a time, in the neighborhood of Costa Alegre, there lived a boy named Mateo. One day, he went to school in a bad mood because his aunt said things to him that were untrue, and his mother was far away in Argentina. So he went to school, and with a zombie face that he always had, he sat down and didn't talk to anybody. At that moment, the Super Niños facilitators came and gave him an invitation to learn to be a Niño Profe. He went to the first day of Niños Profes, kid teachers, in a bad mood, but he sat next to his best friend. Alejandra said that Super Niños is starting. Alejandra is a facilitator. She taught him a lot, and Mateo forgot his bad mood. He participated every day and learned how to fail forward. Fail forward, fracasar hacia adelante, which we translate into Spanish, is a new concept that we had just taught the kids. Mateo participated every day and learned to teach letters of the alphabet to neighbors who didn't know how to read yet, even neighbors who were 10 or 11 years old. All of his friends also participated in Super Niños and started reading books and helping smaller children. Mateo never again felt like a zombie. So this was a story that Luana wrote about somebody else, but it's clear to see that this story is actually about her. This is Luana's story. Luana joined Super Niños feeling like she was empty, feeling like something was missing, feeling like she was missing family members who were far away, and without a support system to help her grow to her potential to be the confident young woman that she could be. And joining Super Niños got her there. Today, she's already 14 years old. She's a teen teacher in our program, and one of the teen teachers who's been in our program the longest. And because we give quiet children a microphone, and we take children who are labeled aggressive and we assign them to mentor a younger student. We put them on TV, as Corey stated. We have them teaching kids and doing things that they never thought was possible so that they could rise out of the trauma of the past. We want to make girls into confident, empowered change makers and show boys as well the notion of what a positive male role model should look like. Because let's face it, grown-ups don't always have the skill or will to create change, not just in developing countries, but in all countries. Grown-ups don't always have the answers, and children like Luana don't only need us, but we need them to step up as protagonists of change. Now I'm excited to show everybody a video so that they can see a little bit of what Super Niños looks like on the ground and meet a kid teacher named Elias.
Hola, Shesherega Elías, Areco 10 años, Aiko Taba Tevi Cuaremica Guasupe, Aike quinto grado.
La historia de Elías es que mi hija es de mitad alegre, que veo recobre edad de 6 meses. Voy a agarrar de meningitis, así curigetables de huiro, internada por 7 días. Villarrica, pero vamos a Asunción. A Opecha Roluchas esta SB, por la gracia de Dios, o imponente hija, es inteligente tereía, o ayudar a pisar fuera, a ayudar a hacer.
Voy a poner las 5, a poner Aha, Mungarushe, Ruasupue, Ambayupa, Peachela Caldera, esa actividad. Etamba aprender a super niño, la valores escuela, la TV, la su favorito es nacer tú mismo. Si no se motiva, ella para escuela o la mitad escuela, pero yo jamás pedí mitad y coteva.
Ahora la rosa de Juango a las 4 de la mañana, 4 menos cuarto ya lo vamos a preparar, a las 4 ya lo hacemos, a 5 menos cuarto vamos a agarrar la colectiva, vamos a la Coronel Oviedo, 8 kilómetros no sé la moto, pero nos vamos a la colectiva. A pedir yo la cruz de Coronel Oviedo, pues a pedir yo pillé mototaxi, pero lo vamos a mí.
A la vez siempre tengo baja por haber. La gente le pone baja con el que toma a enseñar a otros niños, pero le pone a ver. La que sueño es una año convertíamos esa no haya poco de lugar donde venden una empanada, la cosa pesa pancho mía a ver ese sueño es una año convertido futbolista de ella sentía de catujala ella poja de cambiar la mundo.
So this concludes the Women of Peace Corps Legacies portion of honoring our awardees, these amazing women who are paying it forward. And on behalf of all of the members of Women of Peace Corps Legacy, we invite you to join us, along with other dedicated and caring returned Peace Corps volunteers and their friends, to work for women and girls empowerment to move us indeed closer to a more just, equitable, inclusive, and safe world for future generations. Again, congratulations to our three. Very, very proud of you. And now it is my honor to pivot to introduce the Loret Miller Ruppe Award, an award that is given by the National Peace Corps Association. Women of Peace Corps Legacy is proud to be one of 180 plus, there's more than 180 of us, affiliate groups within the National Peace Corps Association community. And each of our affiliate groups is unique in its own way, but all of them bring Peace Corps' third goal to life and continues to serve our global and our local communities. And so our final award for this evening recognizes a National Peace Corps Association affiliate group for their outstanding achievements. And to present that award is Loret Miller, to present the Loret Miller Ruppe Award for Outstanding Community Service, let me get that name right, is Katherine Ruppe. Katherine is a film and TV writer, and she specializes in exciting, strong female characters who strive to achieve the impossible. A passion ignited by the stories of strong women. Her mother, Loret, who I had the wonderful opportunity to work for, met during her many travels around the globe while her mother was serving as Peace Corps Director. And now it's my honor to introduce Katherine Ruppe.
Started my video. Okay, got it. Hi, sorry, I didn't know I was on camera yet. Okay, thank you so much, Corey, and thanks to the NPCA. I'm so thrilled to be here to present the annual Loret Miller Ruppe Award for Outstanding Community Service. Peace Corps was my mom's biggest passion in life. During her 8 years as director, she visited over 60 countries, sitting with volunteers in their huts, schools, and Peace Corps sites, always armed with M&Ms and words of support. She loved how so many returned volunteers and Peace Corps staff members continued throughout their lives to promote peace, that beautiful 5-letter word. Which brings us to this award. It's presented to outstanding affiliate groups for projects that promote the third goal of Peace Corps, or continue to serve host countries, build group collaboration, and promote service. The purpose of the award is to recognize the great work that NPCA's groups are doing, and to generate ideas that other groups may emulate in their communities. This year, 5 groups were nominated and invited to present their work at the Affiliate Group Network meeting last Saturday. Following the presentations, all participants went into breakout rooms to learn more and to network. Then the groups themselves voted on which one should be honored with this year's Ruppe Award. As voted by their colleagues, the 2021 winner is the Peace Corps Community for Refugees. It started in 2016 with an idea by longtime Peace Corps staffer Barbara Bush, following a trip to Greece to work with refugees. She felt RPCVs were made for this kind of work, and she set about connecting and engaging the RPCV community with the urgent needs of supporting refugees. As Barbara herself will tell you, just 5 years later, the group is very busy and now works in these key areas: resettlement of refugees here in the US, support for refugees overseas, education, and advocacy. During their affiliate group network presentation, they demonstrated their partnership approach by focusing on their current work with Friends of Afghanistan. Here to accept the Loret Miller Ruppe Award on behalf of the group is Barbara Bush.
So I'll forge right ahead. We had a chance to meet Katherine Ruppe the other day at our rehearsal. And as I told her, it was such an honor to meet her because her mother was such an inspiring example to so many of us who worked with her. She is my idea of a practically perfect public servant. And she and John Lewis, actually. And I think the two of them together are Latter-day Saints. I really do. So it's a particular honor for us to be introduced to receive this award from her daughter, Katherine. So thank you very much, Katherine. And thank you all for putting up with this awkward presentation, from my point of view, awkward because I can't see or hear anybody. But anyway, as I say, we're very grateful to be introduced by Katherine. And again, Loret was just a complete peach. So I think we all who worked with her agree on that. I also would like to express the extreme excitement that the Peace Corps Community for Refugees feels that we have won this award. It's thrilling, really. It's an honor for us, and we're so grateful and we're so excited about it. We really are. We're very proud because when we started 5 years ago, we had 5 people, but now we have 1,216, which is just wonderful. And we didn't have any affiliations with any groups when we started, but now we have lots of affiliations within the NPCA, particularly, as I would understand was mentioned, with the Friends of Afghanistan. That has been an honor and a pleasure for us with that group, and to see their utter devotion to their country and to the people of their country. And so we treasure that association, and we also treasure our associations with a number of the resettlement agencies around the Lutherans, Catholic Charities, HIAS, and so on. It's been wonderful to meet them and to work with them. So we're getting there. We have our relationships throughout the country now in a number of different cities, and we want to continue that growth in association with local NPCA groups around the country. So we're very proud of these things, but on the other hand, the fact of the matter is that we wouldn't even be in existence if it were not for an organization whose initials just turn out to be NPCA. Because of the NPCA, we were given access to their wonderful membership, I think now over 60,000 people, and we're able to interest them in the mission we have established of serving refugees overseas, in this country, and as well when they're resettling, and to advocate for them in our nation. And so NPCA backed us when we asked them if this would be something they would back. Glenn Blumhorst and Ann Baker were absolutely marvelous. And one of the wise men, Mr. now Chick Dombach, was so encouraging, and he told us that we would be able to succeed, and we did. He was on our original board. So we're so grateful to all of those people. We're so very grateful for the Friends of Afghanistan and our association with them. And but the thing is, while we've made a good start and so forth, there are never enough people to go to work on this wonderful project. And I just want to make a pitch. We hope you'll consider joining us. There is so much work to do. There's more work in advocacy to make sure the people still left behind in Afghanistan are brought to safety. There's room to do a lot of advocacy in a lot of communities around the country who feel certainly not comfortable with the notion of refugees, immigrants, asylum seekers, to gently let people know that there are new neighbors and that we can all be brothers and sisters together. I know that sounds corny, but it's true. If we make local presentations, people begin to meet their new neighbors, Americans will fall for them. I think we all know that. America has a big heart. I know we have words, lots of warts. I think every country has warts, but we do have big hearts, and we will welcome people if they're introduced properly, I think. And so Peace Corps volunteers are very good at that. We have a recent example that's fantastic. Don Drock, who's on our committee, told me when I went to stop for gas on the way up to Cranston that we have a new member who put out a call for people in Portland, Oregon, to join an effort to welcome refugees. And he got 16 RPCVs within 24 hours. And that's exactly the kind of thing that Peace Corps volunteers do, in my experience. What a wonderful group of people. They know what it's like to acclimate to other cultures. They're comfortable with people from other cultures, and they have a real service ethic. Oh, the great thing too is they're very good in chaotic situations, unplanned situations. So because they're used to a climate of ambiguity in their assignments overseas, so they are perfect for this work. You are perfect for this work, you Peace Corps return volunteers who are listening to this. Please consider joining us. There are so many things to be done. As I said, there's the advocacy work to do, and there's trying to help the asylum seekers at the border, and trying to, as I say, mitigate some anti-immigrant feelings that are around in so many communities. So please consider joining us, and please accept my sincere admiration for your service. One friend of mine has said that Peace Corps is a national treasure, and I think that's true. I think that's true. I think volunteers represent our better angels in our communities and overseas, and we're very grateful to all of you for your service. That really is all I have to say, except thanks for putting up with this. May God bless our country, our volunteers, and our new neighbors. Thank you so much, and good night.